All right, so we're going to be continuing with our list. The first one on our list is called Love Hurts. Love Hurts is a Universal film, and it made over 10 million views on YouTube. It stars Ki Hugh Kwan. This is the guy who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He was Obi in Loki, the series, and he was a child star who was in The Goonies and was also in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's the guy right there. He was also a fight choreographer for a very long time. He was behind the scenes for decades. So he was actually involved in one of the Matrix movies. I believe it's Matrix Reloaded, if I'm not mistaken. The film also stars Adriana DeBose and Mustafa Shakir. Mustafa Shakir has been in Luke Cage, and he was also in Cowboy Bebop. He's a really great actor. He was also in Ghosted. And this movie is going to come out on the 7th of February. Sorry, Rob, were you saying something?
Okay.
Oh, no, that's it for now. So apparently this movie is basically made by the same guys who made John Wick and Nobody. The guys who were stunt coordinators and started doing their own films. So this time around, they're going to be using Ki Hu Kwan, who is a real estate agent who's been getting really good jobs. Seems like he was out of the game for some time. And now there was a lady who he rescued or saved from his brother. So now the brother is pissed off and then he wants his revenge. And it seems like now the lady is back in action and looks really, really good. Fight choreography looks really good. I don't really have much to say about that. It just seems like it's action packed. We don't really know much about the character apart from the things that I've mentioned so far. But Rob, if you notice something that I haven't, you can let me know.
To me, it gave me a lot of like the Rock Kevin Hart movie vibes. In terms of the energy, thing is, I'm looking it up, and yeah,
what?
the John Wick people are involved. And I actually think what's his face, Shakir Mustafa, might be is actually that man is such a badass dude. Just his face, that's a great thing. Also, don't forget Sean Astin is in here from the Lord of the Rings. Daniel Wu is of course his own. He's got his own pull for himself. I've got such mixed feelings about this trailer though. Like, yeah, sure,
What?
Dave Odenkirk from Nobody, but he wasn't actually Nobody because Better Call Saul already come out. There was a pull there. And don't get me wrong, this Ke Hu Kwan has energy around him as well. There's a pull there to be, no question, no doubt. But to me, it feels like it feels like I'm watching a middleweight fight that's trying to be a heavyweight fight, if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I get what you mean. Also, can he carry a movie? No, I'm not saying he's a horrible actor. He is a great actor, but can he carry a movie? I'm not sure if you're familiar with Matthew Lillard, the guy that played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies, right? He said something quite interesting a few years ago. He said his movies suck when he's the lead, but put him with Freddie Prinze Jr. and all of a sudden he's great.
Cuba Gooding Jr. A lot of juniors. But
Cuba. Oh no, sorry, Freddie Prinze Jr. You know, yes, the guy that plays Fred in the Scooby-Doo movies.
But don't forget the one with Cuba Gooding Jr., the romance one. Have you not seen it?
Oh yeah, with Matthew Lillard. It's called What Love Is. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, directed by Mars Callahan, and it has Sean Astin in that movie as well. The guy that you just mentioned. Yes. I know that movie very well.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, he's right. You're actually right. Where that man as the side character playing a very different character to anything he's done before.
Dude, he was an a-hole in that entire movie, bro.
But I still liked him because he wasn't a cartoon character. Even at the end, when he's like, when he walks that girl, it's like, no, I'm going to open the door for you. I'm going to do all these things for you. You know what I mean? Right. Like, he was still
right.
He wasn't a full.
I think his name was Sal. I think his name was Sal.
Sal, yeah.
Yes.
We're like, oh, dog, we could talk about that movie for 5 hours straight. I could talk about
we need to review. We need to review that movie, and we need to review another movie by Mars Callahan, the same director. Do you know who the directed that movie? You see, in the movie, there's a guy who has a wife. His wife, I think, had something on her face. He's the one that actually talks about monogamy and he spells
Yes.
it out and
Oh,
talks
yes.
about how,
The smooth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the smooth guy. He's the one that directed that movie. So he has another movie called Pool Hall Junkies. That's the movie that he did before this one.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I've heard.
And he's actually a professional pool player. And in that movie, he's actually the older brother of Michael Rosenbaum, the guy that plays Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they actually kind of look alike. So,
Yeah. No, I get it.
yeah. But I
No.
think we should do Mars Callahan movies. I'm a huge. I didn't even know you know that movie, but it's definitely one of the movies that we need to touch on.
Yeah.
But I digress. Anyway, back
But
on
you
this.
fully understand. See, that's why. Ironically, this ties to the previous one we did with what's her name? That lady, Julia. Um, where I think she can carry an entire movie, but I wonder if Ke Kwan can carry an entire movie by himself. I loved him in Loki. I loved him in Everything Everywhere at Once, even though I haven't watched it. But
Mhm.
Julia Garner, sorry, there we go. I think Julia Garner can carry a full movie. I don't know if Ke Kwan, because it looks like a rock Kevin Hart movie. I understand there's cool action. It doesn't give me the same energy as Nobody. And to be fair, Nobody wasn't a masterpiece. I think these guys are great action people, but can someone please give them a writer?
Yeah, because it seems like they're recycling the same concept. It's John
Yes,
Wick all over again, but
yeah,
this time around there's no Continental, there's no dog. It's
yeah.
just a salesperson. Last time is Mr. Nobody. Can we just have a completely different style? Like, just look at what A24 is doing. Yes, we know that the stuff is very deep, it's very dark, but it's different concepts though. You know what
Okay,
I mean?
yeah. Okay. I miss old Hollywood where people used to mix this stuff up, where you got a cool action movie that had deep, dark stuff at the same time.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
Mix it up.
right,
Can we stop taking a knife, cutting it through, and being like, okay, these intense concepts over here, and then cool stuff over here? Why? What's
right,
happening?
right,
And to me,
right, right.
I don't feel anything with this movie. I just don't. It feels, and
And
it's
I
so,
think
yeah,
going back to what you're saying, no? I think what people don't realize, I'll give an example with Terminator. What worked with Terminator in the beginning, the first two movies,
yeah,
is that it was action, but there was a horror element to it.
yes, absolutely.
So that's the thing that I think other movies that came after were missing, right? So I think with these action movies that we're talking about now, like another co-host of mine would usually say, Pila, shout out to Pila, he would say it's a nothing burger. Yes, we know who he is, we know what he can do,
Hmm?
but what's the plot? What's going on? Is he saving the same person that was saving? Okay, is he being saved by the same person
Yes,
that he saved before?
yes,
That's
yes.
it.
Well
So we're
done.
gonna be seeing that for 90 minutes?
And it's so crazy because, like, I sometimes think about Terminator 1, right?
Yeah.
There was a story where they used a bunch of cool action to try to tell the story. Whereas here, it looks like a bunch of cool action that needs a bunch of story to tell the action.
That's and if I'm being completely honest, that's how I usually feel like when I'm watching John Wick movies. There's great action there, but
Especially number four and number three.
what's John Wick 2 about? What's John Wick 3 about? What's John 4 about? Because it's just about bounty hunters
Yeah,
that want to kill John Wick. That's it.
he's not saying
You know what
any.
I mean?
Because, like, think about again, I feel like Terminator 1 is such an undervalued movie in terms of just it's one of those movies you can actually think about when it's done. Because there's this general theme that's told of, like, what do you do when you're being chased by something that cannot be reasoned with, it cannot be stopped, and it cannot be
Yeah.
stopped, it cannot be reasoned with, it is just a machine. And there was this thing that they kind of just discussed a long time ago about the general themes of the Terminator villains and why the later ones
Mhm.
didn't work is because number one, it's that biker outsider vibe with
Mhm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Then number two, it's the man with
Mhm.
don't do this to me, Patrick. Oh crap, the
Oh, you're talking about yeah. I see the guy you're talking about. We keep forgetting his name, man.
dog, and he's such a good actor. But anyway, and then number three, one could argue, okay, it's the femme fatale. And then after that, those like key things were done, like these key elements were written, and then suddenly there
Yeah.
was like, do whatever you want, do whatever you want, do whatever you want,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, disgusting. And to me, this just feels cheap because it feels done, and it looks good, but it feels cheap. It looks good, but it feels cheap.
Yeah, to me, this gives me the vibe of this is just a popcorn movie. You go there, you watch it, you forget about it the moment you get out.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. It's not gonna be long lasting. It kind of reminds me of these movies that these actors used to do in the early 2000, whether it's Vin Diesel doing The Pacifier, whether it's Jackie Chan doing that one where I think it was babysitting some kids, kindergarten cop type. It's like those movies that
Yes.
you would
Yeah, okay,
forget
I see. And
easily.
The Rock, the Tooth
You know
Fairy.
what I mean?
Those are nothing movies. I see what you're saying.
Those,
Yes.
yeah, like Are We There Yet? And all of that.
Yeah.
Those kind of movies.
Yeah.
I know there are no kids in this one, but it's just a movie that you would watch with teenagers,
Yeah.
and that's it. Maybe teenagers might like it, but it's not a movie that will be in the it's not going to be like in the top 100 movies of all time list.
And now that we've talked about actors, can we just talk about Mustafa Shakir? Because this
Yeah,
man has got this intense face to him. He's got this deep
yeah.
voice.
He's a good looking man.
He's a good looking man. And to me, he's the new what's it? Blood Diamond?
Jimon and so.
Digimon Hanzo. He has a chance to be better than Digimon Hanzo. Like, don't get me wrong, Digimon Hanzo is amazing. What's it? Blood Diamond Fight something? What's it?
Never Back Down.
Never Back Down. Sorry, there we go. Robin Hood. Whenever he's in Gladiator, that's Hanzo, right? That is him, ne? Gladiator 1.
I haven't watched Gladiator, but I think he is in there. Isn't he in Pompeii as well? I think he's also in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in Fast and the Furious 7. He is in Rebel Moon.
Not even counting those ones. I'm talking about like ones where he's got impact. Blood Diamond, Gladiator. These Robin Hood.
Right.
Right. He's this impactful guy who's just never. Oh, what's the Island? He was impactful in that one. Do you know the Island with
Yeah, the one with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. I haven't watched it, but I know the movie.
I love you, man. But yes, exactly.
No homo, but sure. All right.
Oh, but you really were fine. Yes. Full homo. No, I'm joking. But yes. But yes, you get my vibe, right? He's this great actor who just for some reason doesn't have his own franchise yet. Even though you would have thought Never Back Down would have been his franchise. But for some reason, was he even in the sequel?
Yeah, I mean, there was a sequel made. There was a sequel made with Michael J. White as the main character. So you know those sequels that have a different cult altogether, but it's the same title, like Honey 2, Storm the Yard 2.
Yes.
I think there's You Got Served 2. You're like, why are we doing this? Why don't you just call it a different name altogether? Yeah. Pacific Rim 2. You're like,
yes, it's like Disney.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you know, like they'll make a sequel and it'll be different actors in Disney movies, like Beauty and the Beast 2. Yeah. Who are these guys?
It'll be like a cheap copy of the original, and you're like, why are you even doing this?
Yes, why bother? This feels like, and that's why I'm so scared for this guy, because in my opinion, he's in a terrible movie. He doesn't have that much weight. He can act.
Look, Mustafa Shakir was the best thing about that Cowboy Bebop live action series.
100%.
He played Jet Black so well that it's crazy what he was able to do. He was better than John Cho, and John Cho is the star of the show. But anyway, going back to this, if Love Hurts is coming out in February, remember there's also going to be Ballerina that's coming out in 2025 as well, starring Ana de Armas within the John Wick universe. So it's the same people that are doing this. So basically what they're doing is they're going to be releasing 2 films in the same year, kind of like what the MCU has been doing, kind of like what Disney has been doing with animated projects. They released Inside Out this year, and they were also releasing Moana now, and now they're even releasing Mufasa. I mean, it's not a live action movie. It's 3D animated movie at the end of the day, Mufasa, you know what I mean? So I don't know if they are confident enough to be doing more than 1 film at a time in a year, but perhaps they were just taking a huge risk by testing the waters with this one before they release Ballerina. So if this one flops, they know that Ballerina might do well because John Wick has a cameo in that one.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll probably compare the numbers between the 2 films and the audience scores and so forth in the future. So guys, stay tuned for that, and I hope that maybe we might be proven wrong. Who knows? Because some of these things are like lightning in a bottle. The things that we don't think will work probably work. You never know.
It'll be the 7th lightning in a bottle, not lightning in a bottle number 2. This is nobody, but funnier. There was clearly
right.
And again,
Right.
The Rock, Kevin Hart did this, in my opinion. That's
But the thing about The Rock and Kevin Hart that a lot of people don't realize is they need, like, Kevin Hart needs another co-lead for any of his projects to work. He cannot do a project by himself. You need Will Ferrell, you need The Rock, you need Wesley Snipes, you need some Hannibal Buress, you need someone to be a lead with him, Tiffany Haddish, to make a movie
yeah.
work. Billy Cranston, not Billy Cranston, why?
And
Bryan Cranston, sorry. Billy is a Power Ranger. So I don't know. I don't know. Ki Hee Kwan seems like he's the lead. He's doing this by himself.
yeah, I
So
think this
we'll
movie,
see how it works.
yeah, I
Maybe
think
it
it'll
might
make
work,
its
maybe
money
it
back,
might not.
but I don't think it's going to push the needle forwards for anyone in this movie. No one's gonna go wow, and then like that person will explode from here. This will not be a franchise.
Right,
This will not blow anyone
right.
up. It'll probably make its money back because we like these guys and we like their style. But it's like, what's his name? Vaughn? Yo, we took long on this one.
Who's
Matthew
Vaughn?
uh,
Oh, Vince Vaughn.
Kingsman guy, the director for Kingsman. Like
Oh
that
yeah, you're
Kingsman
right. You're
style of
right. It is Matthew Vaughn. You're right. You're on the
that
ball.
Kingsman style of directing. Have you noticed we don't see it anymore? Because it kind of drizzled out after like Kingsman 2.
But that style of directing was kind of like Guy Ritchie style of directing, though,
True, true.
especially for Kingsman.
But remember, Guy
So
Ritchie,
it
that's
could have easily been a Guy Ritchie movie.
true, but Guy Ritchie's fights have never translated so well like Kingsman does. Like Kingsman's fights were
Okay,
better.
that's true.
And I feel like
That's
that
true.
style, because it got so much repetition and just didn't have staying power, we don't see it anymore. And I feel like these guys
Mm,
are going to end up putting themselves in a situation where their style of fighting that they direct is going to fall apart if they're not careful.
right.
Same thing with the raid directors for the raid. Where are they right
Yeah.
now? I mean, because remember,
No, I get
it's
what you
like
mean.
dance.
Yeah.
People always associate fighting with dancing. Yeah, dance styles expire. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So
That's
I
true.
think they need to be careful. But anyway, yeah, I feel we got long on this one. This was
No, no, we definitely got along. I think we're gonna be doing two of this episode. But anyway, all right,
yeah,
guys, check out Love Hurts. As I've said, this is a Universal Pictures movie. It has 10 million views on YouTube as of this recording. Stars Ki Hee Kwan, Adriana Dev Bos, and Mustafa Shakir. It also has Sean Austin, as Rob has mentioned. This movie comes out on the 7th of February. So just before Valentine's Day, if you have some coins on you and you'd like to watch something about love, and you have a lady that might be interested in an action film, go check out Love Hurts. Come back to us, leave a comment give us your thoughts in the comments down below.